Collection Service Board meeting to order September the 11th, 2013. Steve Harb is on the telephone, and the other three are here.
Bart Howard.
Here.
Elizabeth Trinkley.
Present.
Elizabeth Dixon.
Present.
Steve Harb.
Present.
And Chip Hellman. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Have the agenda. Does anybody have any corrections to the agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Moved. Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Minutes for the May 13th meeting is on tab 1. Corrections or additions to the minutes of the meeting from May the 15th? If not, I entertain a motion to have those approved.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Mr. Whitaker, the legal report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distributed copies of the legal report to the board. Mr. Harb has received one redacted, just like the rest of your by email, so that he can review and participate as well. You have 23 items on this month's legal report, and any items that require discussion, and then take a vote to approve the report.
We'll take a few minutes then to review the legal report. Steve, how you doing?
Doing good. I'm through it.
You through?
And,
Okay.
yeah, it looked pretty good to me.
Are there any questions for the of the legal report from any of the board members?
One question I had was on number 16. Small point, but it just sort of caught my eye. It said that the respondent was unable to validate the debt. What? I mean, they didn't have an invoice. They couldn't get the information from the client because maybe they didn't feel like it was sufficient or it wasn't detailed enough. But just to say we
Very old Comcast bill. I believe it was from something like 9 years ago. What happened was this agency got, a spreadsheet of claims with information
probably really, yeah, like
related to the
second or
claims,
thirds or purchase debt or something. Okay.
and the debtor had stated and provided proof that he had paid what he thought was the last bill. So he documentation they had that could show he owed additional money for service beyond the dates of the last bill he paid. And when they went to their client, the cable company, they said, "Look, that's 9 years ago. We don't have the paper."
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
And seconded. Discussion. Mr. Whitaker, I noticed that there's several complaints in here about the do not call registry. Is something on the internet about that now? Is that coming up a lot with you?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman. Almost all of the complaints relative to do not call registry appear to be coming from one. And the do not call registry, as I understand it, is a federal regime, and the FTC has enforcement authority. And to do anything about it. And it's also worth noting that plaintiff mentioned that she has also submitted documentation to the FTC regarding these top of it, and the FTC has the information they need to do what they.
I just wondered if there was something on the internet that's telling everybody to complain about the do not call registry, because that obviously doesn't apply to collection agencies. A motion's been made and seconded to approve the legal report as prepared. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Administrative report, Ms. Hancock.
Yes, if you will turn to tab 2 in your tab 2 is the complaint comparison report. It shows your complaints today compared to where they were September the 5th of 2012. And you'll see that at that time there were 103 pending complaints for this program, 34 of which were beyond our 180 days benchmark to try to resolve these complaints. Today, as of September the 9th, there were 61 pending complaints, and only 3 of which are over. Several that Mr. Whitaker resolved today, so that number will even be lower next week or next month. The influx of complaints in. So
Congratulations. That's very, very nice and looks good. And it also probably is an indication that the collection agencies are doing the right thing.
are doing better.
Yeah.
We're seeing fewer complaints, in my opinion, than we were when I first came on board with this program. it seems to be better.
A lot of the smaller agencies that would likely violate the law are closed or out of business or been sold or what have you. So, good work. Thank you.
3 is your budget report. This is for still the closeout, excuse me, of fiscal year 12-13. We don't have the final numbers yet to close this out, but these numbers that I'm giving you today are the third run of the final closeout for fiscal year 12 and 13. In that right-hand column, it shows you the revenues that you've received in 12 and 13 through June 30th. And again, this is the third run, showing that total of fees received from location managers was $51,315. From collection agencies for renewals, application license fees, solicitor cards, 345,620 for a grand $396,935. We'll get the final budget by October anyway. The next page over is your expenditure report for third run of fiscal year 12 and 13. The column down the right-hand side shows your expenditures and payroll, your total other expenditures for a total of, so far, $215,562. Of course, cost backs are not added into that, so we'll see a fiscal report, the last one we receive. Any questions
Cost
there?
backs are those the monies that we pay paid over to the state?
That's for administration, investigations, commissioner's office, those kind of fees are in cost backs. They won't have those until the final budget. Any other questions?
Just on the revenue line there, are the any punitive fines or whatever, is that included in miscellaneous? Is that where those?
Well, actually, it comes in and it's put into the actual file of the agency that paid it. It's not included in miscellaneous fees. But any civil penalties we
Civil
receive
penalties, right.
is shown up there in revenue under the agencies.
Are you seeing?
It would show up under application license fees. That's where we
That's
put
where it would show up,
It's
not under
applied to the
miscellaneous. Like
right.
Okay, all right.
Oh, I'd certainly like to see how that works.
Kind of see how. I mean, because we
Amount of
see them
civil
here.
penalties
I've
each
always kind
month.
of wondered how much
Okay.
we collect and how much we actually.
I believe we do. We also have a monthly disciplinary action report that goes to the department itself for publication on the department's website, and that'd be another way to kind of look back and see. And the staff will be able to get that information for you and put it in whatever. Just something to note, over the last few months and several board meetings, there really have only been a handful of civil penalties authorized, and I think there are some boards that have an incredibly high volume of consent orders with varying amounts of civil penalties, and others, it just doesn't work out that way. And this is one of the ones with the lower numbers of consent orders and civil penalties. Part of the reason for that stems just from the nature of this program and the complainants and certain evidentiary issues with an eye toward a formal hearing. Folks who are complaining, they're from out of state, that come from far away. Sometimes they make the complaint and then end up dropping off the grid. Phone numbers disconnected. They don't participate at all, or they get resolution with the agency and they're like, "Nah, I don't really want to do anything else. It's off my credit report, so I'm good to go." And so that and that all of those factors contribute to lower numbers of civil penalties and other programs.
Meeting schedule. It's under tab 4. We'd like for you to review that and approve or adopt.
I don't see any problem with any of these right now. Does anybody have any objections to this? Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we adopt it.
Motion's made and a motion's made that we adopt the meetings for next year. Is there a second? And seconded, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Chairman, I do have one other thing that we omitted from putting on the calendar, and I need to read into the record the notice given of this meeting. This meeting's date, time, and location have been noticed on the Tennessee Collection Service Board's website, included as part of this year's meeting calendar since September 24th of 2012. And the agenda for this month's meeting has been posted on the Tennessee Collection Service Board's website since August 27th, 2015. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Are there any, is there any other new business or unfinished business to come before the board? Steve, do you have any unfinished business or new business?
Probably at the next meeting we might discuss that balance sheet again, but not right now.
All right. If there's no other business, meeting will be adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
Thank you. Bart,
Wow.
thank
I
you
feel
very
like
much.
I
I'm going to sign off.
I know.
Only kidding. Only kidding. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
See you. Bye-bye.
Get to finish my